Greetings, fellow traders. Bubblehead here, and it's time for the Lunchtime Market Update for Thursday, January 16th, 2020. I hope everybody's having a great day today. This is brought to you by Positive Trends Research, and everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. All right, awesome. Let's take a look and see where we're at with the market today. So SPX, goodness gracious, we're up 17 points, but it doesn't feel like it because the intraday range is only 5.51 right now. New all-time highs, which is great, right? Everything is bullish until proven otherwise. Just really, really tight and tricky range today. So look at that. That's just funny to look at. It's just like, okay. That's so hard to trade, right? Just tough. Even the 15 orb range itself is 5.36. So, it's tough. You get something like this, it's like, yeah, let's go. Anyway, so this makes for tough trading intraday. Okay, so, markets gapped up last night. It had some relief move. Asian markets were strong yesterday on the trade deal and got some follow through today. And now the markets are kind of be like, okay, what's next? We got a trade deal. Phase one's done, right? We got, apparently we just signed the North American trade agreement too. We've settled war with Iran. There's some impeachment going on, but nobody really cares about that. And that's about it. So now the market's like, all right, what do we do up here? So, again, it's earnings season. So there's, a whole slew of earnings that are going to be coming up. Like big tech's going to be reporting soon. Apple, Amazon, stocks like that. So that could get things going again. In the near future. So speaking of which, let's take a look at a few of the different ones today. So Roku is one that we pointed out yesterday on our member video as a potential short idea today. So what it did yesterday was really remarkable, right? So it gave this inside candle, which was a shooting star, an inside shooting star, right below the cloud. So this is very, very bearish implications, right? And then you can see today we got that nice follow through, right? We don't look for volume on inside candles, we look for position, right? And once we see that, right, this makes a good short idea. So this is one that we could have been swung short yesterday. The price action is a little complicated here intraday, but it did give you, right? As you can see, we put these levels up here, right? Here's your inside day low, so it's really, really key stuff, right? You had a 15 orb right here into the pre-market box, but it wasn't until this inside 15 at the inside day low where it just gave up that price. Here's your upper shadow here, and you got that nice flush to the downside on Roku. So definitely a cool setup. This is one that we like. Something like this where you're getting, you're out of the cloud, things are already weak, right? After a big upper shadow, you got some nice downside follow through on that one. So good stuff on there. Apple. Okay, so Apple, not too unlike SPX today. Very, very narrow range for it today. Again, it's just it's been real toppy up here, but we still have to respect trend, right? So we have just really, really choppy stuff today. We had one nasty candle down, then it's kind of floating below the 15 orb here this morning, or this afternoon now. So that's what we're seeing there. Amazon. Some good retail numbers came up today, but this thing is just still chopping around and struggling here. Now, we talked about this last night, right, on our in Twitter, and I think we talked about it in the live stream too. But this looks like here that we might have held trend yesterday, right? Here's your trend line, and that's exactly what happened, right? So we gapped up this morning. We got a nice pop off of that. So that being said, it's just hugging trend right now. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on this thing. It's looking pretty interesting. So 3 red days there. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4. I think this is technically a red day. 4, 5, 6, 7 red days in a row on Amazon. So earnings coming up at the end of the month. So we'll see if this thing can get any steam under it, behind it before we move on. So one of the stocks that we liked going into today was SDC. So it had a real nice candle, good volume yesterday, and it gave a nice gap up and a push this morning. So that was good for an overnight trade. But gosh, holding some of these things for a long time is pretty challenging these days, right? So sometimes you just have to take that overnight move. If it hits your target, go ahead and take profits, and then get out of the way, right? Because this thing definitely pulled back here. So we've got that nice gap up this morning, nice follow through from yesterday, nice push up here, a good place to take profits, and then see ya. So just something to keep in mind, especially with these IPO type stocks, right? Nobody wants to be in those if they're not indexed, right? If it starts pulling back, right? So we got that. Zoom was another one that we really liked too. Some of our members caught this yesterday, right? We had a nice close yesterday with increasing volume. It was very rare to find a strong candle with increasing volume yesterday as a optionable tradable stock, right? There's a few, but this was a nice close yesterday. We like this one, and some members took that and got a nice gap up, to take some profits this morning too. So good job with that one. And then last but not least here on the review list right here, Home Depot. Home Depot, look at this, been holding the 50-day moving average all the way down. When you combine the 50 moving average with this geometric line right here, it sure looks like a bull flag, doesn't it? And we came back up, we gapped up today, held the cloud, the daily cloud here as support, and then bounced off of that real nicely this morning. Home Depot can move very strong at the open. It cleared its pre-market levels here and got some nice follow through. So good stuff. So let's take a look. We got a few chart requests out there. So let's run through those. Let me get these pulled up here. Okay, good. So we've got Work, W-O-R-K, Slack Technologies. So looking pretty good here today. It's back at the 15 orb low. It gave an inside 15 for a pop out of the 15 orb high if you're tracking those. Right now it's just sort of in a choppy range right here. Right now it's currently above the daily cloud. I'd like to see it close a little bit stronger with some more volume to get some potential follow through on it. NEO is another one that's looking pretty interesting. We pulled this one up yesterday. This is continuing to test the macro trend line from its IPO day, right? So that you can see here from these peaks right here is your geometric lines, right? And it continues to find resistance right here, right? So it did it on earnings day. It's come back and tested yesterday with the news that they were gonna, get a partner or something like that, and then that ended up not being right, and then it gapped down today, had a nice reversal day. So we're continuing to test this geometric level, and we'll see if that gets any continuation on there. If it needs to get over it and get strong, right? SNDL had a nice candle yesterday, real nice candle today with a gap up today, and just like SDC, you got to pull back on that. So just these days, it's like some of these are just overnights. It's just something that has to be adjusted, or at least raise those stops up there once you're profitable. And if it takes you out, it takes you out. It's better than having it go red, right? INMD. Inside day here, having trouble breaking out of the inside day high, and it's still holding the 50 moving average on this one. It's right in the middle of the cloud right now, so it's getting pretty tight in there. We'll see if it gives a move coming forward. Tesla is another one, guys. So this was a pretty important one today. So they had a downgrade from Morgan Stanley this morning, which also reported earnings today. So down, we had here's the deal. We had a hammer, a red, excuse me, hanging man at the all-time highs. Right, we closed below that yesterday with a shooting star type pattern. Right. Not quite an evening star, right? This would have had to close 50% within this range of the first candle of the setup. But still pretty bearish, right? So some of our members had speculative puts on this one and did very well this morning. And then just to kind of show you what happens here, so where did it gap down to? Right? So it gapped down to, right here, right at the scene of the breakout of this candle right here. So that is a potential support area, and it did find a relief bounce at the morning. Right, so here it was looking really, really nasty coming into the day, but look at that. Once it gave you a confirmation candle, and you can go to the shorter term time frames on these, to look for a potential setup, right? So if you go to Tesla right here, even the 1 minute time frame, right, it cleared a lot of these pre-market levels here and got really strong, a little bit of a pennant, and then worked its way up. So even on the 1 minute, it was really fast. But that's one of those ones you just go quickly. And why? Well, because anybody who had these speculative shorts or was short Tesla yesterday, they were pretty happy this morning. So what do you think they're going to do? Cover their shorts, right? And so what you want to do, as a day trader, is sometimes look for those indications that, hey, wait a second, these guys are covering. Let me ride that wave up as they cover, right, and get a nice bounce on that one. So you're seeing that with Tesla right now. Couldn't fill the gap, and it's got a little bit of an upper shadow here. So we'll see if that continues to hold and where that leads us into the end of the day. Okay, so Amazon. We just looked at a little bit ago. Again, it's right at this trend line right here. It's getting interesting. I wouldn't worry about this one until it gets below here, because that's your trend box bottom. If it closed bearishly below there, it could work on testing the scene of the breakout right there and then possibly see that gap. Okay, so and then Netflix. Netflix has just been kind of chopping around, struggling at this ascending triangle, which corresponds with a mega gap fill, entry or mega gap area, right? That was prior resistance. So right now it's looking like an ascending triangle. It's approaching this area. We had an inside day gap up today, and it came back down and it tested both ends of the range today, forming an outside day. So let's see if it, see how it closes today. See if it gives any strength. Right now it's holding its recent trend line. So that's definitely another one to keep an eye on as well. All right, guys. Well, good stuff. Great requests and awesome charts. So it's a real choppy day today. So just be careful out there. Only look for the best setups that make the most sense for your strategies. And I hope everybody has a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you guys on the recap. And remember, risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you soon.